everyone, and welcome to Off the Wall. My name is Sol, and Happy New Year! With this new year, I'm still going to be doing book videos, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to check in with you guys on a quarterly basis with TBRs, anticipated books, and book reviews. It will be out shortly. Go check out my anticipated books for the first quarter of 2024. But today, I'm going to be talking about my TBR for these first 3 months. I have some reading goals for myself this year, and one of those goals is to read some of the popular books from last year that I didn't get to. And what better way to do that than to read some of the books from the Goodreads Choice Awards? I'm going to try to read one book from each category. Now, it won't necessarily be the winner of each category, but it will be one of the books that was at least nominated. I will leave a link down below to my reaction to the Goodreads nominations that I did in 2023. First up will be Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. R.F. Kuang is one of my favorite authors. She's known for the Poppy War trilogy and Babel, and now I guess this book, since it did win for Best Fiction for the Goodreads Choice Awards. The premise of this story is you have two friends, one who's an Asian woman and the other who's white, and both are authors, with the Asian woman named Athena being way more successful than June. When Athena dies in a freak accident, June decides to publish Athena's manuscript under an Asian-sounding pseudonym, so people believe it's an own voice book. The synopsis for the book says, with its totally immersive first-person voice, Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. This is R.F. Kuang's first non-fantasy book, so I'm excited for this one and to see how she does in the realm of regular fiction instead of just fantasy. Next is a nominee for Best Historical Fiction and also Best Debut Author, but we're choosing it in the historical fiction category, and that is River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Scherer. This book is about the end of slavery in the Caribbean, and I can see it being a very heavy book, but it's been on my TBR since last January, so I guess I need to get on to reading it. Also, there's a wonderful interview with Good Morning America, which I'll link down below. She speaks about being a descendant of the Windrush generation and that being an inspiration for writing this book. The next book was nominated in the Best YA Fiction category, and that is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. Now, I didn't know this was YA, but it is by an author who I've read and enjoyed before. She wrote the Brown Sisters trilogy with Get a Life Chloe Brown, Take a Hint Danny Brown, and Actor Age Eve Brown, the last one of which I haven't read yet, but I do own. All I know is that this is a romance book, and I think it has the trope of ex-best friends to lovers. I'm hit or miss when it comes to romance books, but I did really like Get a Life Chloe Brown and Take a Hint Danny Brown, so I have high hopes that I will like this one too. And the final Goodreads Choice Award nominee I'll be reading in the first quarter is Cobalt Red, How the Blood of the Congo Powers Our Lives by Siddharth Kara. And this was a nomination in the Best Nonfiction category. One thing that has overtaken the news is what is happening to Palestinians, but I don't want to forget the pain and suffering other people all around the world are going through. I know this book is probably going to make me sad and probably make me angry, but I feel like it's going to be one of those necessary reads. Don't stop talking about Palestine, but also talk about the Congo and how the world is responsible for what's going on there. Another goal of mine this year is I actually want to participate in Kayla's Buzzwordathon this year, where she has a word or theme each month, and you have to find a book that fits it. I will leave a link down below with her announcement video if you would like to participate as well. For the month of January, the words are there, and there, as in they are. And I have chosen a book I checked out from the library and planned to read in November of last year for Native American Heritage Month, but never got around to it. There by Tommy Orange. The synopsis for the book goes as follows. Tommy Orange, wondrous and shattering novel, follows 12 characters from Native communities, all traveling to the Big Oakland Powwow, all connected to one another in ways they may not yet realize. Among them is Jackie Redfeather, newly sober and trying to make it back to the family she left behind, Dean Oxendine, pulling his life together after his uncle's death and working at the powwow to honor his memory. 14-year-old Orville coming to perform traditional dance for the very first time. Together, the chorus of voices tells of the plight of the urban Native American, grappling with a complex and painful history, with an inheritance of beauty and spirituality, with communion and sacrifice and heroism. Hailed as an instant classic, There is once poignant and unflinching, utterly contemporary, and truly unforgettable. For February, the theme is happy, positive words, so I'm using a book I already talked about, and that is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, with the positive word being cute. And then for March, the theme is a character name as the title, and I've chosen Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. I believe it's Hindu mythology retelling, and like Circe by Madeline Miller, it's supposed to recontextualize a villain and tell the story from her point of view. I honestly don't know much about this book, but I've heard people rave about it, so it's time to read it. And my final goal is to finish series. There are so many series where I've read the first book, I loved it, I couldn't wait for the next book to come out, bought the next book and subsequent books after that, and never read them. But this year we're changing that. So the series I'm focusing on in the first quarter is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, Duology by Roseanne A. Brown. Goodreads describes the first book in the series as a fantasy book inspired by West African folklore, which a grieving crown princess and a desperate refugee find themselves on a collision course to murder each other despite their growing attraction. Their first book is so good, and I need to know the end of Malik and Karina's story, and the only one that's been in the way of that is me, because I own the second book, which is right here, Psalms of Storm and Silence. And this came out in 2021. So I could have read this in 2021 when it came out, and I didn't. So I'm going to read it now in 2024. I have no excuse, but it is what it is. I'm Sol. That was my TBR for the first 3 months of the year. Comment down below what books you're planning to read in the first few months of the year. I'm always interested in what people are reading, and I'm forever growing my TBR. Remember to like and subscribe, and